COVID-19 lockdown will have a deep and lasting impact on the film industry. For the first time in most of our lives, we will not have anything close to resembling a summer blockbuster film, let alone a summer movie season. This new reality has forced film studios to come up with creative ways to promote their movies and get them in front of audiences. With Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Video, and Disney Plus occupying the digital space, these major projects are now having to compete in that very same space in a way they have never had to before. A film like Scoob is in a surprisingly good position to succeed in that regard. It's a lean, family-friendly, and occasionally funny film that plays it safe most of the time, but certainly has its heart in the right place. Now, while the film isn't a wildly successful adaptation of the hit Scooby Doo show, it does do a number of things right. First, the voice work for this movie is great. Will Forte, Mark Wahlberg, Gina Rodriguez, Amanda Seyfried, and Zac Efron play the main cast, with legendary voice actor Frank Welker returning to voice Scooby Doo. Jason Isaacs, who has quietly spent the last decade or so just being one of the best voice actors alive, excels as the bad guy with a very Scooby Doo sounding name. Our villain, Dick Dastardly, has visions and desires of lost treasure that might just bring about the end of the world, and the plot takes our heroes globe-trotting around the planet to stop him. The center of the movie is focused around Scooby's relationship with Shaggy, and for what it's worth, this is an element that the script spends a fair bit of time on, even if it still comes off as half-baked. Will Forte's performance as Shaggy is noticeably different from radio legend Casey Kasem's decades-long portrayal, but he certainly brings his own style to the part. Wahlberg plays Blue Falcon, a bumbling superhero who hesitantly takes up the mantle from his father. As someone who wasn't necessarily a huge fan of Scooby-Doo growing up, despite the fact that I kinda look like Shaggy in high school, I am not the target demographic for a movie like this. Believe me, I have no qualms about Scoob coming out and aiming squarely at a younger audience, but I got the impression almost immediately that this movie desperately wants to be all things to all people. All of the requisite goofy sound effects from the animated shows of the 60s and 70s are present, but there's also a ton of weird pop culture references, some of which are just gonna go over your kids' heads while making the adults in the room cringe. There are legitimate attempts to create some emotional resonance with Scooby, Shaggy, Daphne, Velma, and Fred, but these mostly fall flat due to the shallow nature of the storytelling. Our characters dress like they're from the cartoon era, but at various points Shaggy plays a Backstreet Boys song on his phone, and somebody makes a Tinder joke. These elements could have turned Scoob into a fish-out-of-water story along the lines of the Brady Bunch movie, but the filmmakers simply didn't have the courage to take that route. It's not a bad thing, but it's so obvious when you're watching the movie that it's a bit surprising they didn't just go for broke. The best movies are successful when they have the confidence to know what they want to be, and the frenetic, jumbled nature of the storytelling and tone in Scoob makes it seem as if the filmmakers or studio didn't have confidence in their product. This is by no means a bad movie, it's not, but it's one that takes no chances and offers almost nothing new. Creating a vision for a movie isn't easy, and the filmmakers do need to be commended for trying to tackle such a beloved property. That said, there isn't anything here that you haven't seen done 100 times before in superior films. For all the criticisms I do have of this movie, it does have one more thing going for it, and that's this. Younger kids will enjoy this movie. While it's easy for me to criticize for the predictable plot and lack of creativity, let's be honest here, your kids aren't gonna care. The manic energy of the voice cast, great animation, and overall fun-loving tone should be more than enough to satisfy them. So overall, Scoob is a modestly fun, yet very generic portrayal of one of Hanna-Barbera's most iconic cartoons. There's stuff here for the kids to enjoy, but mom and dad will probably lose interest fairly quickly. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my content, please subscribe on YouTube and click that notification bell. Please also like, share, or comment below since that really helps the channel grow, and I will see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.